Hello everyone, it is Teresa from Teresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art, where I love sharing art from my heart. I am here. Last week we painted the carrots and we have 4 left, and tonight we are doing beets. So when you hop on, let me know where you're watching from and I will get started painting, and we will chit chat as we go. So I'm using a number 12 flat. I'm going to double load it, and I'm using this diazonine purple and Juneberry, which is one of my favorite colors, and I think this Juneberry is going to be perfect for beets, but I wanted it a little bit darker, so I'm using this diazonine purple to get it a little bit darker on one side. Oh, look how pretty that looks together. Well, they may not be an exact color of a beet, but I think they're going to look really cool. So I'm double loading my brush, and I'm going to grab my chalk pencil because I want to have my beet on here the right size, because I'm only going to do one beet and then the leaves. So I want to kind of, you can't see it because this is a chalk pencil, but I want to kind of sketch out the size I need, and then I will get started. When you hop on, say hi. And if you have any questions, let me know. Is this too bright? Is that better maybe? I don't know. No, because now I have a shadow. So we'll go with this. I'll move it down a little bit. There we go. I think that's good. So I am starting. I double loaded, and obviously my beet is going to be right under my dirt mark. So as you can see, I prepped these canvases before I started this series. And as I come around with my double loaded, I want my beet to come down here to a point. So I'm coming around with my brush, and then I'm just following through to have the point part of the bottom of my beet down there. And then I'm just going to fill in the middle here with this Juneberry. Now I feel like this Juneberry is a little bit translucent, so I think I will go back with a second coat. But before I do that, I am going to, hey Carrie! Thank you for today. I'm going to do my leaves. So, beet leaves, beet greens. I don't know if anybody eats greens, because I think I love greens, like collard greens, escarole. There was something else my mother used to make all the time. Steam them up with a little garlic and salt and oil. Love greens. But I've never had beet greens, and I always feel bad because I feel like I waste them, but they're a little tough. But I know you can cook them if you cook them long enough. What I like about beet greens is they have a little bit of the purple in them from the beet. So I'm going to double load my brush like I would ordinarily do for any kind of leaves with my dark green, my thicket, and right now I'm using fresh foliage for my light green. But then on the light green side, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this Juneberry. So now I'm having like 3 colors on my brush. I'm having the thicket, the little bit of the light green in the middle, and then it crosses over to the Juneberry. And I'm going to show you how we do these leaves, where I'm going to start from. So I want the purple on the inside, and I'm going to start here. And beet leaves are a little bit rounded. They're rounded towards the top. They don't come to a point, and they have a curve. And I want the one in the middle to be the tallest. I might have done that one first, but I didn't. So I'll go back and add it. And I just want it to curve around. And I could start back up here and then just come right around with curving it on the other side, or I'll show you another way I can do it. I'm going to double load my brush again, pick up some of this Juneberry, and I'm going to do the one on the outside because then we'll overlap the one in the middle. So again, I want my purple to the inside, and I'm just going to go around, and the outside of my brush, but that has the green, is the part that's going around. Now I'm going to just keep coming around. I could start now, I'm going to do this one different. I could start now with this other side, keeping the purple to the middle, and doing the same thing I did, and this might be easier, and making the round. I want that little bump to be bigger up at the top. So the first time I came back down the other side, and the second time I completely turned my project around and did the same exact thing on the opposite side. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to add a really tall one into the middle. Okay? Again, I'm going to turn my project. I'm going to come back up here. The purples are all on the same side. And I'm just wiggling this out. And we have my 3 leaves right there to start with. I'm getting a little paint buildup, so I'm going to just wipe my brush. Then I want to go in and I'm going to add a green veiny stem up the middle of these leaves. Okay. So it's looking a little sparse in there. I'm picking up a little bit more Juneberry, double loading over here, well, triple loading now because I want a little bit of the purple, but not too much of it. Just a little bit of the purple on the end. I'm going to add kind of like a leaf that's a little flipped over. Okay, so I'm going to start here. It's going to crawl up and then it like hangs down a little bit. Well, it wouldn't be underground, so I have to fix that. It would be on the ground, but I can get rid of that. See how easy that is with these multi-surface paints? They just wipe right off. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, maybe with a little bit of a longer one that sticks up and then comes down. Okay, so we have our carrots and our beets now. I'm going to rinse my brush again because I want to go back to my beet. Remember I said the inside was a little bit translucent, and I want to fill that in much more and then add a little bit more of a shade and some highlighting. So I'm just going to pick up the Juneberry for now because I want to just go back in here and add a little bit more, darken this up a little bit where it's a little bit translucent. Now I'm going to pick up my dark and go back in here for the shading. There. And I love beets. Yeah, so let me see if there's any. Nope, we're good. Okay, move this. Oh, just got paint. Move this over a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now I have my beets. My beet is kind of big. I think I'm going to add another leaf in there. I want my leaves to go a little bit taller now that I'm looking at it. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to double load my 2 greens. Pick up a little bit of the Juneberry on the corner of my green. And then go back in here. I'm going to make this one, I'm going to try and make it so it's folded in the top. I can fix that by going over this one again. So that one will look like it's behind up in here. A little bit more dark green. There we go. Have a little stem. And then we're going to do another one just back there. I wanted my leaves to be a little fuller in there and tuck those two in the back. I should have done those first, but I was able to get them back there. Okay. Now I'm going to get some white, which I didn't put out yet. So what should I do next? I can do radish, or scallions maybe. Onions might be a little too white, but I could do scallions or radishes or turnip. Maybe I'll do a turnip. That's what I put on my page today. So let's see. I can't wait to have all 4 of these done. I think they're going to look really cool. And I said I might put them on wood and have them as a series. You know, these are little 5x7s, but I think that would be big enough, because if you wanted to line them up, you could line them up this way, or you could line them up, these all match the backgrounds, you can line them up this way. So anyway, right now we're working on the beets, so let's stick to it. So now I'm going to just pick up a little bit of white, okay, and I want to where's my burnt umber? Oh, I know where it is. It's in my bucket. 1 second. Yes. I have some colors separate in a bucket over there because I have to make a color list of them at some point, which I forgot. So, get that and that. So I'm just going to go in here. I'm going to add a little bit of highlight up in here under the dirt right at the top, and I'm just going to accent a couple of these leaves that are in the front, getting the shine, okay? Getting the sunlight. Man, where's my... You'd think I would be more prepared. I'd come on here. Oh, here we go. So now I'm going to get my floating medium again, like I did last week, because I want to do the dirt line. I'm going to use the little brush. Actually, I'm going to use the number 12 I was using. Wipe it off a little bit. And I'm going to load this brush. Hi, Terry. Thank you. I'm going to load this brush with this floating medium, with this clear floating medium. And then I'm just going to pick up a corner of the burnt umber brown. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to drag my brush. And it doesn't have to be even, Steven, or perfect. It's a dirt line. I'm going to drag my brush right through here and here, just giving a little bit of a darkness to the top of our soil. So this is underground and this is above ground. I'm going to just get in there. And now we have our line. And last but not least, I'm going to wet my liner brush. I'm going to go back into my burnt umber with my wet brush. So I want it a little bit thinner. Folk Art multi-surface paints are a nice creamy consistency, but for this I want it to be a little bit thinner. Then I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to add the little tiny roots that come off of our root vegetable that we, usually cut off, boil off, or come off when we peel it to eat. And that's it. So, we have our carrots and our beets. What does the medium you use actually do? Okay, so this is called floating medium. Right there, floating medium, Terry. This is what is the base of the paint before they add the color pigment to it. It actually, if you can see, when I did this line, it enabled me to smoothly move my brush across the canvas without adding the other color, because if I wanted to this brown, it helps me move my brush on a flat without adding color here because this is clear, but I can still glide my brush smoothly because I only wanted color here. And also, because I had the floating medium on my brush, it made this dark line not so stark. It has a little bit, almost like a watercolor texture to it. And so in this case, I was using the floating medium for this shading, and I wanted that line to look just right. I will use, and painters, one-stroke painters will use this floating medium if you're painting on canvas or something that's going to suck up the paint and it's hard to pull your brush, or the paint, maybe your paint is a little dry, or your paint has been out. Like I use a space heater in here, so my paint dries up just like that. So I will put some floating medium on my brush and then pick up the right amount of paint, and it just helps your brush glide. Your brush shouldn't drag, it shouldn't look dry, it shouldn't look like you run out of paint, and it just helps the paint go on really, really smooth. So, and for this case, it's really good when I should find something else that I shaded. Let me show you another example of something that I shaded. Yeah. So I painted this chickadee a while ago over the holidays, and it's the same thing. You see this line here? So I picked up floating medium, and then I think this might have been a purple color. And so when I dragged it in here, I didn't have to go back over the green. I had already painted the green, and I was able to just put this shade right under the branch because most of the brush had the clear on it, but the brush still moved smoothly. So that's it. That is my lesson. So anyway, you're welcome. Yeah, it comes, it's a folk art product. Well, you can get it at Michael's if Michael's shelves are stocked. You can also get it Hobby Lobby. You can order it online. It's floating medium. The bottom might look a little different, but it's called floating medium. They also make a textile medium that I mix with these multi-surface paints when I want to paint on material. So it's specific. You can buy fabric paint, but I will, since I have, tons of paint, I use what's called fabric medium, and I put that on my brush when I'm going to do painting on material, cotton, t-shirts, denim, so whatever. Anyway, so here is part 1 and part 2 of our series, our beet and our carrots. So don't forget, we're doing the free class, the spring bike, on March 25th. Yeah, March 25th, Thursday, March 25th, in the free group if you haven't signed up. And if you want the tracer, put tracer in the comments here, and I'll get you the link for the tracer. It'll have the lettering and the bike tracer. So, because it's always easy. It's nice. It's not cheating. Some people think it's cheating. I don't think it's cheating. I like to have a tracer for placement. You know the size you design, you know where your object's going to go. Like when I started out tonight, I drew in the circle for my beet. Otherwise, before you know it, your beet is this big, your leaves are this big. So, we use the tools we're given. Anyway, so thank you guys for joining me. I love you. Stay safe and sane, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.